there. Welcome to The Hobbyist. I'm Sara. I am here with Woody, so you'll probably hear him in the background. He's a puppy, and he still acts like it. So we're trying to keep the crying to a minimum, but I'm not quite sure how it's going to work. So I'm going to do a December 2021 wrap up, but I did read, I think, like 16 books. A couple of them I won't mention here because they were nonfiction, and I just I wasn't quite sure how I felt about them, so I'm just going to leave those out. But so I have 14 that I'm just going to quickly kind of cover here and see if we can get through. This is more to just kind of give you an idea of the types of things I read. I did just do an intro video as well, so you can look at that. I'll link it down below. But going forward, I'll go into more detail and have more notes on what I'm reading. So I think these are in the order that I read them through December. This one was Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, and loved it. And I think there's been kind of some mixed reviews on this, but I just was totally intrigued the whole time. I just thought it was very interesting. Yeah, I think I gave it 5 stars. So definitely recommend it. And if you like it too, then we're on the same wavelength as far as our reading styles. So next one I read was What the Cat Dragged In by Kate McMurray. And this one was from NetGalley. It was really cute. I think I gave it 3 stars. Nothing too exciting in it, but it was fun. I loved the banter. Yeah, very cute read. Next, I read The Dollhouse by Sara Ennis, and this one, there's certain books. This reminded me a lot. I read one by Karen Slaughter this month too, and they seem very similar to me in their writing styles, and it's just, I don't really know how to explain it other than to say that it's kind of a little bit more dry than what I normally like. I don't know if dry is the word, but just kind of, I don't know how to explain it. And they also both are very graphic in their some of their scenes that make my belly flop a little bit. So I'm not quite sure if I want to continue reading either one of these. I did read Karen Slaughter's The Kept Woman, and I really liked it. I think a lot better than this one. But I have the next one in the Dollhouse series, and I'm not quite sure if I'm going to continue on with it or not. So we'll see. Then I also read Locke and Key Volume 1, Welcome to Lovecraft by Joe Hill. And I think December was kind of let's try some new things. I kind of looked back and saw what I read for the year and thought, let's try a couple other fit a couple other genres in there, and this was one of them, and it just it wasn't for me. It's not that it was in any way bad. It's just I probably won't read something similar to this going forward just because it wasn't my style. Then I read Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune, and I know a lot of people loved his first one, and it was the one that was so popular. What was the name of it? But I really liked it too, but I did love this one. So I think the other one I gave 3 stars, and I think this one I gave 4 stars. So it just seemed to resonate with me a little bit better. It just felt like this one was kind of talking, I don't know, more to missed opportunities and, death too soon and kind of issues like that, and addressed those. And it just felt very, very more my speed. So loved it. Then I read The Woman Who Took a Chance, was by Fiona Gibson. And I think this was also a NetGalley book. And I remember it being fine, but it obviously didn't resonate with me because I can't really remember what it was about. I think I gave it 3 stars. So I think it was a quick, easy read. Sometimes I need those just for like a good, palate cleanser. And it worked well for that. Then I read And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Fredrik Backman. And this one totally ripped my heart to shreds and then put it back together again. It just, it's about, the grandfather is struggling with memory loss and dementia, and it's just told so brilliantly. And you do see it from every point of view. From the grandsons, you get a little glimpse of the son's point of view in there, or how it's affecting him, and then the grandfather's. And it just, I work a lot with the older population, and I see the struggle with this, and so it really resonated with me. I really loved it. 5 stars. Then I read The Silent Patient by Michaelides. And this is really popular, and it was kind of a miss for me. It was okay. I think I gave it 3 stars. It just seemed to move kind of slow. And part of that, the reasoning for that, was at the same time I was reading The Night of the Party by Anna Lou Weatherly, and that one is also through NetGalley. And that one was very fast-paced. So to try to read them together, The Silent Patient was on audio book, and then I was reading The Night of the Party with a physical book. And so one was moving very fast and the other one was moving very slow. And so maybe it seemed slower because of the contradiction there. But yeah, so Silent Patient was okay for me, but not necessarily one that I would probably recommend to my friends and family. The Night of the Party, on the other hand, I would definitely recommend. It just kept me guessing the whole way, kept me at the edge of my seat. And it's one of those where the crime happens pretty early on. And then as more is revealed, you just keep questioning and questioning and questioning, who it could be or why, or what was going on. And so it was definitely a page turner. Then also, again, on trying to kind of expand, on my genres for the end of the year, I read An Otherwise Unhealthy Woman by Amy Haddad. And this was a poetry collection. And if you saw my intro video, you'll see that poetry I've really kind of struggled with. I either seem to love it or I just don't get it. And this was one that I just didn't get. And I liked the premise of it, like the summary that they gave that was on the book, or the summary explanation. What do I want to say? And I loved the title. Like, it just seemed like something that I would really enjoy. And I couldn't seem to get into a rhythm of the poetry. And I know that all poetry doesn't necessarily rhyme, but like, it just feels like it flows. And I couldn't get it to flow in my head. So it didn't work for me. Then I read Never Saw Me Coming by Vera Curlin. And this one was also really good. I think I rated it 4 stars. And it's generally, I don't like to read college age or younger, anything that's like coming of age or, right in that age group, because it can be I don't know. It just isn't, it's just not appealing to me for some reason. But this, I really did like this. It was basically a college that gives scholarships to kids who are diagnosed with as sociopaths, I think. And then they in return, they take part in these studies. Excuse me. And then people start dying, and you don't really know if it's somebody within the program or something completely unrelated, or so you're kind of following along in figuring this out and following one of the person's perspective. Might have been a couple of people's perspective that are in the program, and it's really interesting to see their way of thinking through, without the emotional connection that from a sociopath's point of view, I guess. So the next two I didn't read in order, but I read one earlier, but I'm listing them both here because they're by the same author and in a series. So I read Rogue Protocol and Exit Strategy by Martha Wells. And I think these are numbers 3 and 4 in the Murderbot series. And I don't generally read sci-fi, but the idea of it made me think of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And so I thought it'd be kind of, maybe something similar to that, because I loved that and thought it was hilarious. And it's not, it's funny, but it's like more of a dry humor type of funny, not so much the, hey, quiet. Sorry. Not quite the same speed, but I'm loving those. So I think I still have a few left in the series for those. So I'm waiting on my next one from the library. And then the last one I read was Blindsided by Karen Slaughter. And that was the one I mentioned earlier. And I really enjoy the plot, enjoy the storyline, the characters. The writing style is just, I don't know if it's, hold still. Yeah, go get the ball. It just seems, I can't think of a better word than just kind of dry for me, like maybe kind of monotone for some reason. Like I don't get it's very, very much a thriller, and there's a lot of excitement to it, but I don't get the same emotion that I do in other types of books. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but anyway. And then again, there's those scenes that are just very gut-wrenching and kind of make my stomach flop a little bit. So I am not quite sure if I want, if I know I have others of both of them on my TBRs. So we'll see if I continue with those. So let me know if you've read any of those below and what your thoughts are. If you have any other recommendations for me based on my reviews for those, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So thank you so much, and see you next time.